Hello, hello. Sorry to be late. I did something I probably shouldn't have done, but it'll turn out for the best. I went to go refill my coffee and said, "Oh, I wonder if these specific beads are still amongst the beads in my bedroom." And then I went in there and then I shopped and then, yeah, I ran over. I apologize. So, and that's just one of like two apologies I need to give you guys because on morning coffee, I said I was gonna do a green design. Sorry, getting my coffee where I can't knock it over. I should. I said I was going to use gold, but then I got to looking and I lied. I'm going to use copper slash rose gold. I don't know. Some of them I know are copper and some I know are rose gold, but there's that like gray area right in between that we all know. So I'm excited. And Beth, I found you something to distract you with. So you'll be so happy when I show you them because they're pretties. I almost just made a really big mess. I did make a small one, but I didn't make the big one. Goodness sakes, I forgot there was another container under there. But also good news, I found all of my obsidian. Oh my gosh. Mahogany obsidian, that's what it is. I found my drawer with all of that, so now I can create with those like wavy disc beads, which I'm excited about. So let's go ahead and go down on the mat and I will show you what we will be playing with today. So we may or may not be using these moss agate because I found some beautiful check glass that I think will be amazing. But I was talking about these blue glass pearls. They're very reminiscent of the steel blue check glass that everybody has right now, and they're absolutely gorgeous. So I found those, and it's like, that's gonna need a little pick me up. So I pulled them out, but I'm excited. So, first and foremost, this is a pendant, laser cut walnut pendant that Randy sent me to design with that I promptly went and bought as soon as it was dropped. And it's gorgeous. We almost had a casualty with this one, but Steve managed to fix it. It is on a dragon skin agate coin bead. It's so pretty. I could not believe how perfectly it matched up. So we have that we'll be using at a later date and time. And then, yeah, I think that's all. I'm pretty sure everybody here saw what I finished yesterday, but just in case you had to go early, I will show you again. So this is ocean jasper, and then this is yellow jade. And it kind of symbolizes like letting your little ones leave the nest, but knowing that they can always come back home. A little bit of symbolism there that my daughter inspired yesterday with a text message right before I went live. I also made a bracelet and some earrings. I had a 2.5 hour shop my stash for you kind of deal. So yeah, let's see. Tammy's here, Barbara's here, Dawn, Tina, Beth, Crystal, Dawn, and Dorothy. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. I'm very excited. If you wouldn't mind taking a minute to like bounce out and like this stream, or possibly if you have people in your life that would be interested, share it. They can watch it on the replay or join us now. But so yeah, so as you can see, I found a bunch of copper and I found a bunch of different greens. And I'm going to be putting these with pearls. So we just need to decide if it's choose your own edition jewelry style. If we want to go with just a more like wood beads and pearls, I have walnut wood beads. And we just want to kind of do like wood and pearls, or do we want to like jazz it up? Oops, almost lost a pearl. Jazz it up a little bit and use these gorgeous swan bicones that are beautiful. They're so pretty and sparkly. I don't have a lot of swan, but these are some that I had. I think they were given to me as a gift, actually. But they're really pretty. I also have some emerald sea glass that I figured we would use this if we went like the chill route. And if we decide that we want to jazz it up for like date night or whatever, we can use the swans. So I just need to know which one you guys want to use. I also have smaller crystals. These are sea glass, so we do have those. So I just need you all to tell me. I also have some green bellflowers that I thought we could use if we do the casual elegance or like the full-blown thing, guys. I gotta know. Tell me what you think. Thank you, guys. Thanks, everybody, for liking the stream. I appreciate it. Okay. Love those. Love the sparkles. Okay, Dawn's down for the sparkles, which doesn't mean that we're not going to use wood beads. I just meant that like the sea glass is more casual, and we might not end up using beads or the wood beads other than like just a few. So, but Beth, I need to know what you want too. You are part of this. You are part of everybody. Everybody is part of everybody. And I have some larger pearls somewhere right here, I think, or maybe. You're welcome, sweetheart. I appreciate that. We've got to lift each other up, guys. It is so difficult to like go out there and be like, woohoo, I hit this number of subscribers. Because, or at least it is for me, because to me it sounds like braggy and whatever else. On the other hand, what is on my glasses? On the other hand, when it's one of your friends that accomplished something, it's so much fun to do a shout out and share with everybody and everything else. So I have a proposition. I say that if any of you guys hit a milestone, let me know and I'll go shout from the rooftops that you hit it. And then vice versa. If I have something, then you can be my who was the dude that said the British are coming, the British are coming? I'll be your that, and you can be my that. And it works. No, it's not easy. And no, I know we can be proud of ourselves and we need to be proud of ourselves. Hi, Georgina. We need to be proud of ourselves, and it's not bad. I'm just saying, like, I know from experience that there's a dog under my feet. I know from experience that a post, yes, Paul Revere, thank you. That with my first YouTube gig, Amy put up a post and it got like 25 likes. I put up a post about the exact same thing and it had hundreds of likes. It's just I don't know. It's just not in our human nature, I guess, to like let people brag about themselves. So just going. Hi, Jenny. Exactly. Yes, yes, yes. Good morning, Jenny. Exactly. She wouldn't have done it. She would get embarrassed when I would be like, hey guys, Becky did this. It's so great. So, yes. So I just think that we need to be that for each other. We need to be each other's Paul Revere to let people know what's going on because it's just better that way. So, yes. Hello, Chris. It was so much fun. Michelle, we haven't started. It's okay. I haven't started the design. I've started, jibber jabbering, but that's all. Okay, it looks like we're going sparkle, guys, which is good because I was kind of hiding these off to the side so that, so as not to influence anybody's choice, but look at these beautiful faceted rice rhodonite. Grade A plus. So pretty. Love them. Exactly, Beth. Yes, Beth is going to be doing a YouTube show where she's basically going to be the Dorothy, you are accepted. We love you. She's gonna be like basically the fashion police for the jewelry world. And she'll be going over different people's like designs from the for that week. And if anybody does anything like has a big accomplishment, she's going to use that time to do it. So that will be lots of fun. Okay, now my glasses are clean and we can get back to this. Put this to the side. These can be put away. These can be put away. Oh, well, I should put a lid on that one first. That's the wrong lid. Okay, that can wait. I just make myself put these away ahead at the moment because I'll forget later and then I'll end up with like 80 glass jars all over my desk. Okay, so we're going rhodonite. Oh, that is love it, Beth. Okay, so she's saying that she would call it on the wire this week. I think that is brilliant, Beth. Just as like that's amazing for you. That's a really good one. Okay, I need to grab my big pearls because I can't just have these little ones. Otherwise, I have rice upon rice upon rice upon rice, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I want some. When you see what I'm grabbing, you'll be like, oh, yeah, you needed to go get those. Because they're pretty, guys. These were probably like one of my most expensive strand of pearls to date. I'm just gonna grab the whole thing and take it over there because that's taking too long. Look at those pretties. Oh, freshwater pearls. Alrighty. Yeah, I might not even do the rice beads now. I'm just gonna use the big ones. If we're gonna go, let's go all the way, right, ladies? Oh, I thought I should not off. Well, we are going really strong as a community. Exactly, we do need to do that. We do, because we're already competing with the men. And I'm sorry if you guys have your own group page, whatever, and you don't like aren't down. I'm not saying anything against you, but in Beading Besties, you can post whatever you want. The only restriction is that if somebody reaches out wanting to buy one of your pieces, that conversation needs to happen outside of Beading Besties. That's all. They can reach out to you the first time, but then after that, it has to happen outside. That is my only like rule. I also have these really cute like green O beads that I thought could be pretty for like on either side of the rice. but I'm not entirely sure. I also have in this, I have two beautiful Baroque pearls that I just love. These were my first ones that I like ever purchased. I have this one that's like a little teardrop. And then I have this one. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. This just spoke to me. I felt like going in this direction. It was like a pregnant belly. And so, but I love this. This one pearl cost me $12, but I love it. So down for that. We might use this. We're gonna wrap the copper. So the other thing we're gonna do is that we're gonna do some really like cool beaded links. You can use any two sizes. The only quote unquote requirement is wrong way, Heather, is that one needs to fit within the other. That's the only like requirement for those links. So let's start with our swan and our rice beads and some copper wire, which I just had. You didn't hear that. Wow, there goes all those pearls I was showing back. Goodness gracious. Oh, goodness. I cannot believe I just did that. There are now like 200 glass pearls under my feet. That's what I get for not putting it in the proper place. Oh, I pushed a shelf. I have this cabinet that has 3 shelves that you can like pull out, and I put those on the edge of one. And then earlier, and then just now, I went and I pushed said shelf in so I could see the next shelf, and yeah. Kablooey. Why are you waiting until November, Beth? I think we should do it earlier than that. That's my opinion. Although you did not ask for it. So, and if you know, your girl likes small loops. So I'm just gonna make some links. I like small loops, and I like my little, oops, that is not round. There we go, I think, not really. Okay. I just like to wrap one around the back until it meets up with the bottom of the loop on the other side. So nobody heard anything, nobody saw anything, because I'm a professional. It's all right. I never claimed to be a professional, ladies and gentlemen. Just saying. Okay, so here's what I was thinking with those little O beads, but I'm not sure how it will go. But that's okay. We can change it if we don't like it. What I was thinking, let me put these next to these because that will determine it. It's like just a shade lighter. I don't know. Let me see. Okay, so what I was thinking was that I would put a ball spacer. I might need to go up to the next size. Come on, Popper. Go through Popper. Why won't these fit in? Okay, those are not fitting on the 20 gauge wire, so that counts them out. Let's try the next size up. See if we like that. Does it need two? Or do you guys think the one is enough? That's one. Oh, nope, I don't like the two. Sorry if you feel otherwise. I I have a hard time like telling people like saying what I like, but I have no like qualms about saying what I don't like. And then I just go a millimeter up from the last bead and I bend that way, therefore not giving me a neck that needs to be filled in with wire. It can just be, oops, get off the top of the pliers. And we go around, come back and we snip off our extra, and then I'm gonna have to fix this little loop. I kind of bent it out of proportion. Little pliers. Yes, we should have a lunch party, but did I miss why she's saying while we're waiting till November instead of starting sooner? That's still a long, long ways away. I don't know if there's something specific that you want to use it for. Okay, so there's one link, and then the other one could just be the way around. Let's see. There we go. And then what are we going to put with the swans? Probably these pearls. Please say that they have a big enough hole to go on a 20 gauge, or I'm going to be stuck going down to 22. Yep. Let me see if it'll go on my 22. That's 4. I want my 22. Oh, here it is. 22 gauge. And 18 gauge. Okay. Well, let's make sure that my pearls will go through. Oh, that was the wrong one anyways, but goodness sakes. Are you kidding me? I can't even get 22 gauge wire through that. That's, I don't understand why they do that to us, you guys. Just saying. Like, I don't know. I would not be surprised if there are people that were like, yeah, I just don't use pearls because I can't find wire to go into it. I don't know where my bits are. Heather, you just saw it. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, yada, yada, yada. Oh, I already had one of those on my tool. Just always go to the hole. Oh, sorry. Be careful because pearls will get very hot if you're doing this and you're not, I just almost messed up. If you're not doing it underwater. Now, it still won't go on the 20 gauge, but let's see about the 22 gauge. Oh my gosh, are you serious? It's probably caught just in the middle of this. Oh, I'm gonna be so bummed if these are not gonna work. I so wanted them to work. See if that's all of them. No, this one went on, so maybe we just need to be picky about which ones get used. Okay, that one fits on there. So let's cut a piece of wire. I'm not going to use a lot of them. It's a really good way to stretch your budget if you're just starting out and don't have like a year-long or 2 or 3 or whatever long stash to choose from. Because not, when you're first starting out, of course, you're not going to have all of that. So it's just, that's just the way it is. So you can always, that's what like I have the wood beads to go on too, and it will just be like because I don't think wood beads don't belong with a design like this, because they absolutely could. Okay, let's see what this is going to look like. And then I think I have some little like twisted copper links that I did a while ago. Those of you who've been watching for a while will know. Oh, those are too big. Okay. Those are too big. Let me just real quick. Where are my bobbers? Okay. I don't want a lot of them. I want to see what it would look like if I just did a tiny jump ring that sat on top of it. Luckily, it doesn't take me long to make or cut jump rings, especially when I pay attention and realize the wire wasn't actually going on. I was just spinning in circles. Okay, that's good to start with. Ba, ba, ba. Oh. If you've never made your own jump rings, I'll go do a little short after this that will just show the process of how I do it. As always, I highly recommend that you watch several different creators do the exact same thing. Mine is kind of a hybrid of a couple of different people's. But so that doesn't make mine better or theirs worse. It's just the way my brain could understand the process. So yeah, that's all. Okay. If this doesn't work, it's okay. I'll just now have these in my stash and ready for me to use when needed. Okay, so let me grab my little pliers and close this up real quick. Oh, that's the one that didn't want to play nice. See? I have too much on my stash, on my map. See, it's just a little glint of copper. So you don't need to have like a bunch of different spacers and whatever. You can build that slowly. There are so many little spacers that you can just make using your wire. So if you don't have rose gold or any copper spacers or whatever, you can make them yourself. See how pretty that is? And I love like matching up humble findings with like more expensive. Like those are just copper jump rings. But they allow me to use these the swan beads with the larger pearls because I'm not adding bead caps or spacers, all of that in the pure copper. I'm just using what I have on hand in my stash. Where's my little pliers? Next to me. I gotta tuck this little baby in. By the way, just as a little, I can't remember if I did a little update on the bronzite. I had Steve stop the tumbler early, sudden or late. I had him open it before it said to open it, and it had like all the grime and stuff off of it, but it wasn't polished yet. So we put it back in. By Friday, I'll be able to show all of you. Jenny, same girl, same. I always I watch most videos in double speed because I want to give my fellow artists some some views on their channel. And you know what? This one is longer than the one that I have on my rotary tool right now. See, oh, sorry. Where is my camera? It's like twice as long. So that would have fixed the problem. Come on. Thank you. That would have helped me get to the center better. And I used to have a really small, like, actual drill bit. And I don't, like, it's what I would use after Like I made the holes on either end larger. Oh, turn it off so you don't scratch your pearl with it, Heather. Now we will see if she's gonna play nice today. I should be doing these assembly line style. It is much faster. But I just always imagine you guys like sitting at your workplace, your craft room, your sanctuary, your she shed, and like you have me planning in the background, but you just look up when I'm like, see, doesn't that look good? That's what I imagine all of you guys doing. Because if I imagined you all just sitting there staring at the screen, I would feel like I was on stage naked or something. Just saying. I know that's weird, but that's who I am. So, close all of these. I'm probably going to have to make a few more. We'll see. Because I have an idea. And who knows, maybe we make this version of it. And then tomorrow I make the a more economical one than this, using the more humble stuff. And I'm not saying that it's not good stuff. Please understand. I love check glass. I love sea glass. I love using all of those. It's just sometimes it's fun. I have a lot of people who like those videos because it shows you that there you can do multiple price ranges within your booths for your customers, and then people can decide if they wait, no, Swan amend that. If they want to purchase the least expensive, the most expensive, sometimes it'll get you a sale and somebody might have picked up the least expensive one, but then when you then they see the other one and they ask, why is there a difference in price? And then you tell them, that's because of this. And sometimes people who maybe originally wanted the least expensive option will change and go to the most expensive just because it is the most expensive one. That's my experience anyways. I need to center that loop up. So, you know, I would recommend, and I'm going to try to go find the one that I watched. And it was like a podcast or just like, I don't know, but they were talking about the mind of a retail shopper, as far as like what people will spend and why will they spend it here instead of here. And like when I do my one cost $15, you know, or let's say $10. But if you buy three, you get 50% off the last one. And then they automatically want all three because they feel like they're getting a good deal, a better deal that way. Again, they probably originally only wanted the one bead or the one bracelet or necklace or whatever it is, but because they see it as a bargain to do 3, that's why they do it. And so there is like actual psychology about stuff like that. So I will go find the like little video that I watched that helped me understand different things, and I will try to post it either in the community here or in Beading Besties. I'll probably do both, actually, if we're being that way, more people will be able to get the information. So, aw, it's so funny, you guys, because that's my granddaughter's nickname. Her nickname is Squishy. So I love that Randy calls her baby Strawberry Squish. I think that's adorable. Choo choo choo. Bring it around once. Oh, Heather, why are you so shaky? Okay, we have 3 of those. I need at least 1 more. But if that's something you guys would like to see, let me know. Maybe that, and if you want me to come back tomorrow with the other versions, we can do that. Hi, Pauline. Yes, Dawn. Okay, yes. Everybody likes that. All right. I will find it and I will get it posted for everybody. Because it is, yeah, even if you're not at the place, or maybe you think that and you just need to go and post stuff in Beading Besties and see the reception of your pieces, and you will see that you're more ready to sell than you thought you were. Because it doesn't take a lot of pieces to start selling it. If you put up a collection of like 5 necklaces, 2 bracelets, and a few pairs of earrings, that is enough. Like, you don't need a lot of extra. Okay, this one. Just to save time, I will drill this. Choo, choo, choo. There we go. Now she's cooperating. Okay. So, I'm just saying, like, if you wait until you have a bunch of pieces, then you're in my boat where you're like overwhelmed by the number of pictures that you have to take and the descriptions you have to write and all of those things. And then that alone can be so daunting to think about that you're in my boat right now and you haven't done a single show this entire year. So Just saying, I have one coming up, but I just want to let you know that it can get just as daunting just thinking about selling it. So you should definitely, or at least take pictures of it and write little descriptions for it as you go, so that when you are ready to start selling online or whatever, you already have all of that stuff done and in a Word doc or whatever with the price of what everything costs. At least do that, because I have a bunch of pieces made with beads. I have no idea how much I paid for because I did not pay attention. And so it's better to do it as soon as you make something, which is what I do now, as soon as you make something and go forward. Like these swan beads, they're like, I think these were 55 cents a piece when I got them. These rhodonite are where's my little jar that says it? The rhodonite were $1.11 a piece, so $1.11 a piece. So, like I said, this is the creme de la creme of this design if I do the other ones. So, and I got to get the rest of your guys' invoices out today. Somebody took all my time yesterday. Pauline. But it was fun. I love a good shop my stash, which is what she did yesterday. And then now I'm going back and putting everything on like it should be. If you start your loop and you leave too big of a space like I just did, you can keep rotating it. And I know that you're like, oh no, but it makes the loop look different. Let me show you. Get this in place and then I'll show you what you can do after the fact. See how this line is like straight, and so it's more oval looking. Just put it back on your round nose pliers and push it up as far as it will go, and you'll get your round loop back. Just a little tip. The first time, I'll tell you guys, the first time I quote unquote met Beth, it was on the here's 3 designs, this is what they should cost kind of situation. And she wrote me a message and was like, this is the coolest video I've ever seen. It's not something I've seen anybody else do. But I think that it's important. And so that's when she started watching, and that was on like Facebook. It was long before I was on YouTube. But that's the first time Beth had ever commented on one of my videos. The keywords, wait. Yes, that's where I am, Michelle. So don't feel bad at all. Because yes, it is very stressful. So just do your best to estimate. You could also ask Rosanna if she wouldn't mind helping you price. I could help you. It's just a matter of time. But also, I also encourage everybody to have a jewelry journey journal. Blah, blah, blah. Say that 10 times fast. I can't even say it one time fast. And put Polaroids, whatever, little snapshots, and put your designs in there. Maybe put a little bit of a few words that, or a few like, oh, this is the length of wire I use. This is the gauge I use. This is the all of that stuff, so that when you go back, if you want to revamp an old design and just use different beads, you'll at least know what everything, the length of everything and all of that, so that you don't have to try to figure that out again and waste wire figuring it out. So I would highly recommend it. I have some kits that I'm making right now, and then I will put those up and explain everything when I do. I have like 4 more to go because I want there to be a little bit of a variety, and then if people want different colors, they want more of a simple one. Again, it will be like these videos, and it will be, this is the more expensive one. It has more stickers, it has more whatever's in it, more pages. It's a like bigger journal. But and I encourage you to do that, not just so that you can, revamp your designs or anything, but so that you can see how far you've come from when you started, and you can see your own progress, and you have a measurement of your talent and how much you've grown and everything else, which I think is important, because as women, we are very hard on ourselves. And so I think having an actual physical reminder of just how far you've come can be very powerful and very encouraging. And so you can see, no, look, I am making progress. So that's just my 2 cents. But yeah, no, I have a bunch of like little stickers that are like flowers and fairies and things like that, and different colors and all sorts of stuff that I bought that I'm going to put out soon. Okay, I have 4 of those and 4 of those. And then I'm thinking for the last ones, I'm simply going to do the wood by itself. Nothing else needs to go with it. I just want the walnut bead to bring the wood up into the rest of the design. I need to find the box with my order that has more of those, because I did buy more of them. They are still currently available on thunderhorsedescendants.biz. They are $2 for 2 of them. And I highly recommend them. I really like them. They are good quality. The walnut is very even, but it's still the natural color, which I appreciate because I don't like when they put ugly dye or ugly stain on my wood beads. I like them natural for the most part. Here's one. For these, I am gonna just go assembly line style real quick. And I'm gonna do those on 18 gauge actually. And I'm just doing my little hybrid link, and I will show that again in case you either haven't seen it or would like a refresher. I'm going to rewrap this one because the wire is too small. So all you do is take a piece of wire, bend it at like a 90-degree angle. I like to go directly into the curve of the wire, go up, over, down to the mat, bring it back up the other side, and then all I do, I went from using 22 to 18 gauge. There's a big difference. Anyways, I go around once till it meets up with where the bottom loop started on the other side. There we go. Pretty. Put the bead on and then do like I was just saying, where you leave like maybe a millimeter of space between your pliers and the wood bead. Bend it again. Then I go into the curve, like I just said, pull it down and around, and then pull that around the top once, just till it meets up. Oh, come on. And then it's just a little link. Why is this so far over? There we go. Okay, there we go. So because I am going to do a bunch of these, I am going to go ahead and do these ones assembly line style, which just means that you do a certain point, like I bend all of these at once. Then you go in with your round nose pliers and you do the loop. And if you can wrap that, you can go ahead and do so right now. Or once you or you just do the loop and then you go back and you trim everything up. Because see how many of my tools I'm picking up and putting down? That's what assembly line is to rule out. And it is actually faster. I timed myself doing 10 versions of a link. And it's, I think I did 10, and it saved me, this is not 18 gauge wire, and it saved me like 10 minutes. So almost 10%, or yeah. If it saves you that much time, I think it's definitely worth it to do the steps. If you're only doing like 3 or 4 of each link, then maybe you wouldn't need to do it. But yes, that's read above. Move up a tab. So you have, wait. Okay, hold on. Oh, wow. Okay, hold on. Yes. Hi, Georgina. Becky's fault. She had me design up like 2 months after I started. There you go. Every guy looks the new. Yep. Yes, I will share Dorothy's link. You're off camera. You're off camera. Please do it again. Okay. So first I'm going to go find CGI. Ugh, what is her name? What's her name, guys? Does anybody know? I'm trying to think of it quickly and I cannot, it's not coming to my head. And then I will redo it. I apologize. I will also get stuff off my desk that doesn't need to be on my desk. Like all of these little loops. There's all of my jump rings, which I will need. Where am I? Those. All I need now is my ring. That way I will make sure that I am completely on camera. There, when I do this again. So I will go back. I needed to cut more anyways. So we will do the next round over again. And now I know where the camera is. So I can stay on camera. Okay, right here is where I need to be. Okay, so assembly line style, like I was trying to show that nobody got to see. I don't know why this one piece of wire is curved. It's gonna drive me crazy. There we go. Okay, so assembly line style is when you do all of the steps of any one project at the same time. And then you go back at the beginning of the first link and you do the next step all at one time, thereby making it so you don't have a lot of moments where you're picking up and putting down and picking up and putting down different things. CGI designs. Thank you. Do, do, do. Nope, we're not going there. I just need to get this link. There you go. Anyway, so I did all of my bends right there. Now I'm going to pick up my round nose pliers and I'm going to do all of my loops. So I will. But if it saves you a minute per step, like, why would you not do that? Especially if you're doing a large project. So I just went in, I'm making all of my loops. Okay, now I have that step done. So then the next step is to pull the wire around the one around the back and then back up so that it joins up with the front. Then I put it down. I pick up the next loop that needs to be wrapped. Ooh, I just almost hit myself in the face with my pliers. Goodness gracious, Heather. Do I have another one? Yes, I have these ones. as well. Why did I leave myself so little wire to wrap around on these? It's literally a 1 bead length. Okay. Okay. Now, that's all of them, right? That one. Yes, that's all of them. So now all I'm going to do is go in and trim them all. If there's something to trim. Some of these I didn't leave myself any room, so there's not really anything to trim off. That one's good. This one needs to be trimmed. So after I do these lengths, I am going to cut a piece of wire and go over the whole process from start to finish, so you can see what I mean by my hybrid links, what I mean by all of that. I will go through it again just so everybody can see it. Bye, Dorothy. Love ya. Have a good day at work. Okay, these are all trimmed now. I like to tuck in my ends after the fact. I find that to be easier for me, especially when I'm using thicker wire, because the wire can't skip. You know, like when you're trying to wrap it and all of a sudden it hits weird and like goes at an angle. If you have already removed that ability, it makes it easier for me to get a good tuck on my ends. And you might think this is silly that I'm just putting the beads on, but we're going a assembly line. This is not 18 gauge wire. Okay. Now we've got the next step. So the next step, you're just going to go in, leave 1 millimeter of space above the bead, bend it over. Okay, now I'm going to pick up my round nose plier and do the next step, which is making the top loop. Put that down. And this really, like I said, I did 10 links and it was 10 minutes faster to do it assembly line style versus like going through the entire process one at a time. Nope, Heather, don't put your plier down. You can fix that during the next step. That did not wrap correctly. But I'm going to wait till the next step when I have my pliers already in hand. And I will fix it then. You guys will have to tell me if you guys like seeing the creative process or if you would prefer that, like, maybe I show you how to do 2 links, but I have all of the other links made up ahead of time. Because I never know like what you guys would prefer. Now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna pull the wire around, and that's the next step we're gonna do. Ow. Do, do, do. Hope I'm staying on camera better. Caroline, to be completely honest, oh my goodness gracious. I'm not the best, but um, but I'm looking at things positively. Those are all pulled around. I'm trying to be more positive. I have doctor's appointments coming up to discuss surgery on my right leg. So hopefully that will make things exponentially easier. So if you don't know, I have a condition called Derkham's disease, which falls into one of the rarest conditions you can have. And I have lipomas all over in my body. It causes weight gain. And then that weight, my body starts turning into lipoma. Now, if you ever watch like Pimple Popper or something like that, and you see she can just do it under local anesthesia right in an exam room. It doesn't need to be like an outpatient surgery center or anything like that. I don't get those kinds of lipomas. My lipomas, that loop is so messed up. Why? I think this is the one I meant to fix, and I was not paying attention, and I did not fix it. So let me do that real quick. I don't know what I did here, but we will fix it. I'm going to redo this one because I already know it's going to bug me if I don't. I will save that for the one where I do the entire process once. Okay, I think, oh, nope. This one's not trimmed. Hold on. Let me see. This is the other one. That was messed up. Okay. There we go. That one I was able to fix without having to redo the entire thing. But yeah, so I have that. I have most people with Derkham's also have fibromyalgia, which I do. But the difference in my lipomas from the ones that you would see on like an episode of the Pimple Poppers, mine have connective tissue, mine can have blood supply, causes nerve damage and bone deterioration and all of that not fun stuff. So but it's day by day. It causes memory issues. That's why my memory recall isn't worth much. Anyway, so you see, I'm going in and I'm able to tuck my wire, especially on the thicker gauges. I'm able to tuck it without it going, you know, sometimes how when you're wrapping or whatever, and you're trying to tuck it, and instead of going like landscape, it goes portrait, and it'll just go like up or down one way, and it's not wrapping. I have found that doing it with the bead on is much better for me. So that's when I do it. But the only thing is that if you are going to be touching it after the fact, and it's an expensive crystal or whatever else, give yourself an extra like millimeter or two so that you don't break or crack your crystals. Same thing with like really dainty gemstones, same thing. But I'm able to go in and tuck my wires much easier this way. So just a little tip. I will go start to finish the way how I do mine. See, this one jumped up. Just had to make a liar out of me, didn't you, wire? Well, look, haha, joke's on you. I'm much more stubborn than you are. So I have a very large lipoma in my right calf, like 4 inches by 6 inches. And it has a lot of blood veins in it. So I had to have, which was causing reflux in my veins, which just meant that they were going, my blood was pushing itself backwards. Well, we did that, which was like a new procedure every week for 6 to 8 weeks. And I did that, and the reflux is resolved 90% of the way. But it's not, that 10% isn't bad enough for the insurance to be like, yeah, we'll pay for that. So now, because if we would have tried to do the surgery before, while my blood veins were going backwards and had all that excess pressure, it would have been really difficult to control blood loss. So that's why they wanted the reflux treated before we did my surgery. So that's where we are. Okay, so I have all of those, but I'm going to show you the process from start to finish real quick, just so you can see the entire process. Originally, I was going to do some wire links, which maybe I will for the earring, or I'll save it for one of the other versions of this link, because it'll give, or of this design, because it will give you another option to save yourself some money. Okay, where's one of my little silver dishes? There it is. Oh, so much stuff on my desk. Sorry, guys. I have FOMO. Now, that is a, self-diagnosis, but it's real. I have to have every viable option on my table when I'm designing, because I'm afraid that if I just limit myself to like one, maybe two options, I'm going to be missing out on the best version of that design. So that's what I just do whatever. Yes, I do too. I have an amazing PCP. I have an amazing surgeon who is not the surgeon that should be doing it, but said surgeon won't touch it with a 10-foot pole, which is very frustrating. Because they don't know what it is. They just like, it's like, nope, I don't wanna. So I bring it up to every medical person that I come across. I bring up Durkheim's because since I was diagnosed, there have been announcements of 6 different like medical trials, and every single one has been shut down and never got started because they couldn't get funding because it's such a rare disease. My doctor, for example, I asked him after my last surgeon, is it okay if I post your information in the Durkheim's Facebook page? And he's like, well, I guess, but what would that do? I said, you know what I've gone through finding you and even getting you to do a surgery you didn't originally want to do. Well, I guess you can. I don't know, if that's going to do anything. I went back for my follow-up the following week, and they had like 12 to 15 people already reaching out, wanting to come from out of state, from in state, just like it's crazy. So doing the full link of the link. I will tell you that you do want to leave yourself a little bit of room. Don't cut it as short as I did. I'm not going to do that as I show you. So first things first, I'm going to bend my wire at a 90-degree angle. Then you're going to take your round nose pliers, your step bail making pliers, or your round nose pliers. I like to go right into the crook rather than having my pliers like this. I rotate ever so slightly. Then I'm going to push my wire up and over until it is parallel with the other wire. I'm going to turn my pliers so they're facing down at the mat, and I'm going to pull said wire right there around. Then if you're using a lighter gauge wire, you could wrap that directly on the round nose plier. I'm just going to show you the way that the more professional way, I guess, which is this. So then my hybrid, rather than doing a full wrapped loop, because I don't like how much wire 3 wraps on either side take up, and it made me feel like my links were too far apart, and I didn't like that. So instead, but I couldn't do a simple loop. I had to fix them every time. They were always like that. They were never like straight up and down, and I'd have to go in and fix it, and I couldn't figure out why. Plus, the thought of a simple loop always freaked me out because if it's just pulled, that simple loop can come open. So in order to make a stronger link that didn't have the wraps here, in addition to the loop itself, I just pull it around the back. Heather, stop doing that. I need to straighten this. And then I pull it back just until it meets the loop, the original loop that we saw right there. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to cut that so that it's right at where the loop started and where I'm cutting my wire. Then I'm going to put my wood bead on like that. Make sure I'm bending it at the same way that the other side was going, and we're gonna bend. Then again, I'm gonna come in with my round nose pliers, go into the crook right there as best as I can, wrap the wire around, rotate my hand, bring it around the back, and grab it. So, oops. So I'm gonna actually show you what it looks like if you just wrap it while it's on. You just go like that, and you're good. And then you're gonna go in and trim off the excess wire. And then this is when I go in and tuck in my ant. So I'm gonna tuck it in right there. And then I'm gonna do it on the same thing on the other side. I'm gonna make sure my loops are lined up completely. If they're not, fix them. There we go. Okay. Now we need to come in with our jump rings. Now I'm trying to think if I like this size or not. I think this is going to be too big. Okay. This is a real thing for me. This is the way my process works. I have a hard time, like, sometimes making the decision of, do I like that? Do I not like that? And then there are times when just looking at something, it's not that I don't want it, but it's that I don't like it. And I can always tell when I like it versus when I don't like it. So you're going to cut yourself a length of wire. This can be a little tricky to do under the camera. I'm going to go around the second step of my pliers. And I'm just going to rotate it. You want to make sure that you keep the wire wrapping towards your right hand instead of having the wire go on the other side. Otherwise, you're going to run out. You're not going to have space. It's just, don't do that. That's what I'll tell you not to do. And then you're just going to keep wrapping. And I like to hold my thumb and forefinger so that I get a nice tight wrap. So I know that this is the inner diameter of all of these are the same. So I'm going to show you something I learned from Samantha Latimer that's going to make it much easier to cut these. But you can also put space in between each of these links while it's on. So I don't like to waste any bit of wire. So I'm just going to go on here with my pliers, not those ones. Where am I? Here. Those are going to get retired. So I will just take my pliers and go in and squish it down. And round it by just holding and going like that. So now it's all the way just as tight as the rest of them are. Then what Samantha Latimer does is she takes another piece of wire and she just makes the 90-degree angle in it like that. She will separate one link like further away so it's not right up against it. And that's where she's going to fit the short end. You're going to put the long end through the rings themselves. And then you're just going to put that between the first and second and start turning. And it will spread out your jump rings, making it much easier to get your cutters in there. Especially if you want to use your double flush cutters. This is enough space to make that possible. And I'm going to show you both ways. But this spreads it all out like that and creates you a little spring action. So like, see, See, there's a little space in between each one. If you have double flush cutters and you haven't wrecked them like I did, this won't be a let's see if it's gonna work. I just cut something with them I shouldn't have. But if your flush cutters are, if you go in up at an angle and cut, you will have both ends. See what it does? That's because I had it on both of them. I will have to fix that. I tried to cut two at a time. So then you just go in and you'll get jump rings that are flush on both sides. If you don't have double flush cutters, never fear, you can still make your own jump rings, which I prefer to do because they match. I just need to get myself an oval mandrel. So that's the next tool I'm getting. So this side is already flush. So you're going to take your flush cutters with the flush side pointed towards you, and you're going to cut. Then you're going to flip them over, cut off that itty bitty piece that comes up to a point, and now that side is flush cut. We come in and we cut the next one. And it doesn't take long, and you don't waste as much wire as you might think doing it this way, because I'm just cutting off that point. I'm not cutting up any further than is actually necessary. And you just keep flipping. You'll get yourself into a rhythm. And you'll go really quick. And then this way, you know for sure that your jump rings are going to match the metal of the rest of your piece, because there's nothing more frustrating than your components all looking different. It makes it hard to use spacer beads because they don't match your wire, or to use metal in your links if they don't match, which is highly frustrating. So I have rose gold findings, and then I also have copper. And depending on the rose gold plated items, some of them are light pink and some of them are dark pink, or are the true copper. So I will use those separately, but that's just my 2 cents on it. Okay, we're gonna go in and we will finish our necklace real quick. Okay. I just need to figure out something. Because of the way this is seated, if I just did put a loop in like this, the rest of my links aren't going to match up with that. So instead of that, I'm going to go ahead and using my copper wire again. And the first step of the pliers, I'm going to make, I can't do it over there. I can't see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to take the itty bitty one, and I'm going to put that in through the loop at the top of the pendant, and I'm going to close it up. You know what? Nope. I'm going to have to use the second step ones because that won't leave me space to connect my links. So we are going to use the second step ones. And we're going to do it that way. Then we can I'm going to take one of these that I made with, I think this is similar to I think this is the third step. I'm going to open that up and I'm going to go through the little ring at the top of my pendant. Now I can connect links to this and everything will be facing the correct way. I hope I explained that in a way that people could actually like understand. Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I think I'm like, oh, yeah. Okay, wait, what did I miss? How does it matter if I forget to eat again? So stepping away from the chat for a few. Okay, sounds good. I already do that. Okay, so all those. 3:25 right now. Sharon, you should have been here a little earlier while I talked. I hope you are writing down the price of each, what it cost you to make each one, what all of the beads are and findings are, so that you know whether or not they are gold or silver plated, or if they're just gold color craft wire, stuff like that. So, oh, I'm so happy to hear that, Sharon. That was scary, but then I saw it was resolved by the end of the post. Okay, it's doing good. I love that little tricky. I use it too. What trick? Did you mean the trick that Samantha Latimer does? Yeah, I learned that from Samantha Latimer. Yeah, you can go back and watch it on the replay, love. Feel free. Okay. Am I gonna start with a wood bead or I'm gonna start with this. And then we can put another one on the other side. Just like that. And then close it up. All I was saying that it's a good idea if you wait until you have a certain, like you're setting a threshold of, oh, I have to have 500 earrings before I'm gonna, oh no, wait, hold on. I need to see something. Hold on. I'm gonna give each component its own jump ring because that is not laying the way that I want it to. And although it was correct, I just don't, and it might stay on properly. I would rather just give them their own jump ring instead of trying to force it. But anyways, I was just saying that you should be writing everything down, what all of the beads are that you used, especially if you're new to jewelry and maybe can't identify gemstones just by looking at them. Come on, you. Okay, this jump ring is getting fired. It does not want to close. No matter what I do, it will not close. And I was also just saying that there's no reason you don't need to wait until you have a threshold to start selling. I have boxes and boxes and boxes of completed jewelry. And I know that prior to the show I'm doing in a few weeks, I'm going to have to go through and price everything and make descriptions. Or if I want to put it on my page so that I can sell it, again, I have to go back and do it. You can start a Facebook page and keep it private until you're ready for it to go out to the world. You don't have to have, and plus people they're not going to stumble along it if you're not promoting it and people haven't seen it, they may not, it's not going to be the same thing as if I say, oh, here's my channel, everybody, in the group. Then everybody can do it, But the likelihood of it being seen ahead of time before you're ready for it to be, just do it. It's good. Heather, could you use a small dial to make jump rings? I don't know what you mean by that, sweetie. Use a small dial. I'm using 18 gauge to make my jump rings. I like to use the smallest, thickest jump ring I can to attach my components so they're stronger. I just don't want you to finally reach your goal, Sharon, and then be like, oh my God, this is going to take forever for me to write all of these up, to put descriptions on everything, to price everything. Just do it along the way. And even if you just start doing so now till you get to 500, by all means, do that. I just would not wait until you're done, then try to do all of that, because I'm speaking from experience when I tell you that it can be very overwhelming. Okay, now we're going to add our pearl and the Swarovski crystal bicones. I don't know, but I don't know what you mean by dial. So you're going to have to explain what you mean by, can you use a dial to make jump rings? I'm sorry, I'm not understanding. If somebody else knows what she means, by all means, please answer her question for me. You're welcome, sweetie. Did you finally go add me on Facebook yet? And you guys never worry about sending me a friend request thinking like I'm not going to approve it. You guys are part of my family. So, that's what I call my friends that become family. You guys are a part of my family. Those ones we get to pick. The only family we get to pick that we're related to is your family. So, yeah. Oh, maybe a dowel? Yes, they're called dowels, sweetie, DOWEL. And yes, you absolutely could. I will tell you, if you are pulling the wire tight, it will start to indent the dial, thereby not giving you precisely the same all the way up. I prefer to do it using my bell making pliers, which are these, or you can also buy these that are just made, and I need to get the oval one of these. That's the next thing I need to purchase tool wise, but you get quite a bit of space and you don't have to stop at the end. You just keep pushing it up and then wrapping and pushing it up and wrapping. And because this is metal and isn't going to indent by applying pressure, which I like to do, I like to apply pressure as I'm going around the ring, because that's work hardening it as I'm making it. So I'm saving myself a step of going back and work hardening all of my jump rings. So I hope that all made sense. I'm not sure if it did or not, but I hope that made sense. Okay, now we are back at a wood one. And I know some of you guys were probably like, you're going to mix wood beads with AA grade rhodonite and 10 or 12, I think this is 10 millimeter freshwater pearls. And I say, yes, I am. And just because they're beautiful beads, And just because they're wood doesn't mean that they were like sheep. I buy the good walnut ones. I like the ones that are natural polished. That's just my preference. I don't like when they're stained. I think that I just feel like anything else, it's going to tarnish. So, like when I say to get 18 gold filled or gold plated wire, I recommend that you do it on brass, because then even if it starts to tarnish, it's not going to be as noticeable as if you didn't. So, all right, we're going to attach this other wood bead on, and then I will do the other side, and we will finish this up. I'm going to do a little S-hook class with you guys. So thanks for sticking around with me, everybody. I appreciate it. I just know that with Rosanna not here, you guys were like losing, and Dorothy wasn't able to go live yesterday or today. So you're willing to stick around with me while I'm just putting this together. Then I'm happy to do so. Let's do this. I just love when you're using jump rings and you're closing them and you hear that click. That's like my favorite of all time. I love hearing that. Why are you closing that, Heather? You need to add something to it. Probably because I closed all of those so I could get did I not make enough? I think I made enough wood links. That, or when you feel like the little grinding as you're putting them in, those are like my favorite. Because then you know that you got a good, tight, flush connection. Wait a second. Where's the other? Oh, there it is. I was like, where's my other rhodonite link? And I like to put the end of the side I'm using my bent chain nose. I like to keep that right at the edge. I feel it makes it easier to get a really tight closure, because this one isn't like, it's not going anywhere. So see how close I am with the round nose pliers? I like to do that and then go in, because it's going to keep this side still, and the only thing I'm moving is that side, rather than doing both. And there are times that you have to do that, but if you're getting good jump rings and or you're making your own jump rings, like, make sure you're getting a good closure, because that's just one more level that you of an accomplishment that you can get in one piece. It doesn't have to be done. Okay, and then one more wood bead. And I'm telling you, it is very fulfilling to know that you made everything, all of the metal pieces yourself, because the best part of doing so is getting that "you made all of that" comment. Oh, wow, I don't think I could do all of that. That's awesome. Da, 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 da. Those comments are some of my favorite comments to have from a customer. So now we're going to measure this. and see how long we are at now, so we know how much chain we're going to have to create. So right now it is 6, 7.5. So I'm going to say we shouldn't have to do much, just a couple of inches. And then I always keep jump rings on the ready separated by size, so that if I need to do an extender for somebody, I can do it right then and there. They don't have to, like, you don't have to follow up with them later, because I have found that sometimes people like that you go and customize it, and then like they just ghost you, which is annoying. Okay, just like I did really tight last time, I'm gonna go ahead and leave space in between each of my loops by just holding this wire at an angle. It will put the loops in, or the space in them, for you, thereby saving you a step. But I will say this, I like the longhand version better. I feel that I get better cuts because all of the loops are the same distance away from each other. But in a pinch, when I'm trying to finish this up after an already long live, saving a step is, it's nice to know that I can do that. Oh, and look at how perfect that lined up. I'm literally finishing with 2 perfectly sized loops. See, stuff like that. Celebrate that win. That's awesome. It doesn't always happen like that. All right, what size do we want? If we're gonna do a small and then a larger, trying to decide how much larger I want the link to be, because I have several sizes. This one is just barely bigger than this, and then that's the next size, and then I have the really big size. So I think I'm gonna go with these ones, and just that are just slightly bigger, because then I don't have to worry about closing all of them. But I do need to come in and close all of these jump rings up real quick, because both sizes are open. So I need to close one side, and then I can just connect with the other. And I know I'm running long, guys. I apologize. Please know if you have to go, to feel free to do so. I am going to do my own S clasp in a second, but I also understand that you've been here with me this whole time. We generally try to have like an hour between each of us. That way you guys can like go change over the laundry, or throw dinner in the crock pot, or make yourself another cup of tea and use the ladies' room. Whatever it is that you need to do in between the different lives gets done. But Rosanna's got company in town, so I didn't want to go on at 9. I don't know why not. I just wanted to do, I wanted you guys to still have that time in between. That's all. close all of these jump rings. Okay, this is probably way more than I needed, but that's okay, because I'll have them for the next day's sale. And don't ever cut down or devalue the time it takes you to make something. Like this one, I'm sitting here explaining and talking and everything else. So I'm not going to put that it took, I'm not going to attribute 2 hours of work to it. But I'm still not going to like say that, oh, maybe I did an hour, but I don't know. We can just make sure that you account for your time, because that has value. That is, in my opinion, worth more than Swarovski crystals or large pearls. Just saying. Okay, we're going to start with the big one. So we're going to put it on the last loop, the last little link on that side, and then we will put in the smaller jump ring. Then we're going to grab the next larger jump ring, open that up, put it through that smaller one, and then attach another smaller one. You're basically doing a Rolo chain. That's all we're doing here. I just varied the link size just to give it a little bit more visual interest. That's all. It's not necessary. You can do them all the same size if you want. You can do bigger ones if you want. It's completely up to you. I happen to have some gold-plated closed rings that I have a bunch of that I could have easily used as, you know, the middle of this chain. But yeah, I decided just to go in right there. I'm only going to do a few more because I don't want it too long. All right, let's go do the same number of them on the other side real quick. Larger, smaller, close, stop. Wow, this is a really long live. I apologize, everybody. This took much longer than I thought it would. That's why I'm never sure if I should record the whole thing. But I know that some of you like to have it playing in the background as you're creating yourself and not having to pick the next video for several hours is a good way to do so. You can watch me in double speed, which is what I do, so that I can watch as many of my friends' videos as possible without it cutting into the stuff I have to do for my page. Hey, Quinn, don't even think about it, Missy. Okay, I think I'm just about done, and then I can do the little class, which will not take long. Bigger loop. And smaller loop. Okay, I think we're done with the chain. If I'm counting correctly, while also conversing. Let's go ahead and put that on a loop and see if we are in fact. Nope, this side needs one more. One more link. Measure smaller. Okay, time for the S hook. Real quick. Not going to make it difficult. We're just going to do a real quick S hook class. If I can find my wire straightener, because I definitely want it straight. Okay. Okay. This is probably way too much wire, so just saying. Now, so I cut, let's see how many inches is this. It's 2 3/4 of an inch of wire. I'm going to take the very tip of my metal round nose pliers and start the curve and end about halfway. Then I'm making sure, yes, I'm on camera. Okay. Then I'm just going to slowly push this back towards the wire so that I have an itty bitty loop right at the end. Okay. Then I'm going to take my 6-step bail making pliers and I'm going to use, let's see, the 4th step. Is that what I want to do? 4th step. No, I think I want to use the 3rd step. I don't want a big, no, that's the right way, Heather. Okay, so you're going to put your loop facing away at you. I like to bump it up just a little bit, like a millimeter or 2, not a lot. Then you're going to have to like kind of push it down so that part rounds around as well. And you're going to pull it around the 3rd step until, Heather, what did you do? What she did was she bent it the wrong way. I hope I can fix this. Just a second. We will get our wires straight again. Now, if this was 20 gauge or anything thinner than 18 gauge, I would not have redid that part. Okay, now we want to go around the 3rd step, so I need the loop, I guess, facing me, right? Yes. Okay, go up a couple of millimeters. Yes, there we go. And curve it until you get all the way back towards the wire, like that. This is a standard S hook, you guys, but you can dress this up in so many ways. You can wire wrap it with a thinner gauge wire. You can adorn it with beads or whatever else. I'm going to attempt putting one of the Swarovski crystals in the middle of mine. Once I get some liquid in my mouth so I'm not as parched. Okay. So now we need one of our little crystals and we're going to point it down at the end. Then we are going to make sure that we do not get too close to that crystal. So hold on one second. Hi, Squishy. Can I call you right back? Yeah, Gigi is making a nest hook and I'm recording. Yes, but I saw it was you, so I answered because I love my squishy squish. All right, I will call you right back. Okay, here, let's let everybody see how pretty you are. There's my squish. There's my squishy squish. All righty, I'll call you right back. I love you. Yes, I will call you right back. I hear it. Yes. Thank you for emphasizing how important it is. I hear you. I love you. I'll call you right back. She likes to smack things when she's like, so she's just letting me know how serious she was. Okay, so we're gonna make sure that we come up a couple millimeters away from the Swarovski crystal because we don't want to bend it. Then we're going to bend the hook coming the other way. Just like that. I don't think I left myself enough space though. I did not. So hold on. So obviously you need more than just a couple. I'm not going to actually go through the process of pulling this. I'm just going to do it softly like this so that I don't bend it. Okay, so we're going to come up. It needs to be the width of here to here. That's what I forgot. So whatever the width of where the crystal started to where it went into the curve, that's how much space needs to be in. So there we go. That's what I did wrong. And then we're going to pull and we're going to bring this down, but we still have to do the end loop. But there's our S. Then we're going to trim the bottom of this, leaving just enough space to make the little loopy thing on the other one. You're gonna have to pull it out just a bit in order to do so, but not very much, I promise. So we're just gonna come to the very end of our pliers right here. That is not flush. Now it is. And we're gonna do the same thing that we did at the start of this, which is to get it up in about a half of the curve, like that. A little bit more, hold on. Like that. And then you're going to take your flat nose pliers and squish that down like you did on the other side, just like that. Then you're going to flatten that out. You're going to put it back on your mandrel and go ahead and like that and pull it in. Then to work hard on both sides, I cheat. You can pull out your bench block if you want. I like the texture this gives, plus it's one less tool I have to pull out. And I'm just going to kind of work my way around like so. Squish that in. Yeah, this is really work hardened. Like that. You're going to cut. I like to bend mine ever so slightly so they sit on the back of the neck easier. But then you're just going to attach either side of your necklace using the S clasp. My hands are not working. That was a lot of wire wrapping. Ugh. I know I can do it. My hands are just like, nope, we're done. So we'll just pull that out and kind of push it back in and attach it on the other side, and we're done with this one. And tomorrow, I will try to have, if I don't do the rest of the 3 designs, 3 or 1 design, 3 price points, if I don't do that later this afternoon, then we will do it tomorrow morning. Oh my goodness. I'm really sorry, guys. This girl has dexterity issues. There we go. Finally, it's finished. Sorry that it took so darn long to finish. but we're done. All righty, there we go. Woo! There you go. Tonight's date night. Get all prettied up. Okay, love you all. I'm glad that you like it. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for spending so much time with me. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the piece. Like I said, if I don't record the other two versions later this afternoon, then we'll work on those tomorrow. But I don't know. I have to go and add it up. I'll have that all figured out when we next convene. So I love you all as always, forever and always. Happy beading, everyone.